Hey everybody, Brad Linder back at you again with Brad Linder Creating Comics and the Daily Card Show. Um, just wanted to touch base on this one. Going to be doing Wolverine tonight. Hope you guys can see this on the blue line. Give me just a second to share this over with the page and the channel, and we'll get going as usual. So, give me just a second on that. And there is the channel, and there is the page. Cool and deal. All right. Now that we got that going on, I am going to refresh to confirm, and boom, there we are. Now I'm going to get into this. This is a bigger piece than what I normally do. This is another 11 by 17, and I just wanted to shake things up a bit. So this is what we got going on. Wanted to make a little bit of an announcement. Gonna be doing something I don't normally do, but in light of my website launch coming up this week, and with some cool stuff going on the sidelines, I just wanted to kind of touch base a little bit and give you guys a special option for something I don't normally do, which is commissions. I don't normally do commissions. They are a pain in the butt, and I prefer to do the comic work instead. But I have decided to go out and do something really cool to give back a little bit of goodwill for everybody that can't normally participate in buying my artwork kind of thing. So I thought I would do this and see what you guys thought. I've already got 8 or 9 people that are signed up for this, but what I'm going to do is a 50 in 50. And what that means is I'm going to charge $50 for, well, $50 plus the $7.99 shipping for you guys to get a cool original piece of black and white artwork, pencil and ink, for $50. And if you want it colored, I will do that as well, but it will be a $75 fee. Because of the Copics being so expensive, and I want to budget that so I can recharge those as they go along, because 50 pieces is going to eat up a lot of stuff. But anyway, I normally charge $350 for the black and white inked stuff, and it's going to be 11 by 17 on cardstock. Oops, gotta erase that now. On cardstock. So you guys will get it on standard comic page type of cardstock. It's not a true Bristol brand. It is one that I have custom cut, but it's the same weight, so it is solid. I draw all of my comic pages on it. This is an 11 by 17 on regular 11 by 17 paper. It's, I think, a 70-pound. I like to use it for these sketches because of the fact that it holds up a little bit better. Just for the purposes. But if you see me drawing comic art, a full-on page, it is an actual board that I put that on, and there's a little bit of a difference to it. But anyway, like I said, I just decided to put some stuff out there and share with you guys and let it go and see where it goes from there. And if it picks up, cool deal. If not, that's fine too. But like I said, I already got 8 or 9 people now that are going to be doing it, and there will only be 50 of those, and that is going to be the end of that, because I don't want to cut into my production time, and I have to keep everything really simple and clean for keeping on production points. But I thought it would be something cool to do. Like I said, a really cool way to give back a little bit and help with some stuff that I want to help out with, and donate some of it and whatever. But yeah, I am having a blast with it, and make that 10 commissions already. So sorry about that. Someone else has just picked up a spot. So as long as they come through, man, that's pretty much the deal there. But I don't normally sell on here, and like I said, this is just a special for my friends on Facebook and YouTube. And if you guys pick up on it, cool deal. If not, that's cool too. Whatever works, man. I'm not really picky about it. it was something I wanted to do for a short-term run, and like I said, give out some goodwill and share something that people normally wouldn't be able to grab without without some help on that, because like I said, that stuff's expensive, but you know, it is what it is. So that's the going rate, and we can't really fight that too much, because if I was to drop my prices, then everybody else would have to drop their prices to compete, and that's not cool. I don't have to worry about that, and I'd really rather not have some artist miss out because of that. But anyway, so there it is, 50 for 50. And like I said, if you want a full color piece, 75, and same $7.99 shipping. So cool and deal. I thought it would be a fun little project to do, bring some goodwill and karma into the world. So anyway, if it works out and you guys are fans of my stuff, awesome. If it doesn't fit your fancy, no biggie. But the sketchbook is coming out at the end of next week, or this coming week, actually, the end of this coming week. And I am finishing up some cool stuff with the website tonight, so it can come out tomorrow, and moving forward from there. But as that goes, though, I'm just going to kind of, like I said, hang out and do the normal drawing thing. This isn't a full on sales pitch kind of thing, because that's not what I do. But it's out there, folks. It's out there. We'll see what happens with it. Oh, let's see. This is the classic looking Wolverine. I don't do the new costumes because mainly they're a pain in the butt and I'm not a fan. But I like this look, and this is the one that I really wanted to go with as far as wrapping this guy out, fleshing him out here, so that we could see the old Canuck, as it were, because he's Canadian. So I think it's going to work out okay. This is a big piece. This is a massive, massive piece. Normally I would cut in the fangs and all that, but I didn't. I went with the old boxer nose style. Kind of like, if you know the comic book art, it's kind of like a Art Adams type of look, where he's got a little more blunt face, so that he doesn't look so much like Batman, you know. A lot of people like to make renditions of him as Batman with bigger ears or flatter fins or whatever you want to call it, and I just don't. I don't enjoy that version. You know, a lot of the Jim Lee type of guys do that, and no offense to them. I'm a fan of the artwork. I get it. I'm a fan of all different styles. I get it, but I'm not one to go off and mimic these guys just for sake of style purposes and whatever. I mean, this is going to be, as with always, my interpretation here. And I'm kind of laying this out as I go, because I didn't draw this in as finite as I normally do, because I wanted to have a little more fun with it. So and I know I'm going to color this, so it's going to be awesome. Going to color this, going to color it, going to color it. Now here we see the original blue suit here. We're going to draw in the shoulders, shields, or armor or pads or whatever you want to call them. And then they have these two really cool blue spiked fang stripes coming down. Got the rib cage there. I wanted to cut this in a little bit sharper than what I originally laid out there, because I didn't want it to be as bulky. And he's kind of stretched out there pretty good. So kind of want to build that up. I mean, most people will go fine line and, you know, just go crazy with this. But I'm keeping this one open because I really wanted to keep it very simple and fun. Very classic in style. Hey, Miles. Glad you made it, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, this is going to be pretty cool. I've got a very simplistic animated style going on here with this one. And as I detail all of this out, it will come to life very quickly. At least I hope so. If not, that can make it very awkward. But after I've done this for over a year now, you know, just hardcore every day for all this time, if I muck one up, it would be the first. So, and I'm okay with that. Just kind of outlining this shoulder guard. It's bound to happen sooner or later. But I'm going to do the top of this head first. And I like this one. I made it really a little more dynamic in the position and the gesture more than anything, because of the fact that I wanted him to really pop off the page here. I'm going to come in with this knuckle. Start with this finger here. The sidewall for this finger. Right up here on the top of this knuckle. Now this is going to be the edge of his fist here. And how that knuckle come down. And I box these in. So we're going to come down here, round this out a little bit. And then we'll come in here. I'm not going to do that part just yet. I'm going to do the bottom here, where I can kind of fold in this thumb and bring the rest of these knuckles up. Because what's going to happen once I shave these out and, you know, carve them down to form, it's going to be really clean. But we have to worry about those big old claws sticking out here. And they normally protrude over his hand, but I like them to protrude just between the fingers. Excuse me, like they do in the movie where they come out, you know, right in between the fingers and then over the top, and they break the skin there. So typical Wolverine style has them come out over the top with the silicone plugs that used to be there back in the 80s, and I'm cool with that too, but I prefer the design where they come out of his hands. They jump out of the front of his hands. It's just a cleaner design, and it looks, in retrospect, it actually looks better, almost as good as the Spider-Man film. You know, what was it, 2001 when that film came out? The idea of the spinnerets in Peter's forearms at his wrist was a freaking phenomenal concept. And I was just like, why didn't Stan Lee do that? And then Stan Lee came out in the credits of the film, in the bonus footage, and said in an interview that, you know, he wondered why he didn't do that as well, which I found that funny. But that's the way old Stan works. So now I'm going to come in here with this other knuckle really quick, right there, boom. Kind of cut that into place. Now I know that looks kind of funny right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a big dip right in here. When I color this back out like this, that'll be black. And we'll cut that over the top of the hand here. So we've got the Wolverine claws. Now, whenever we curve these out, someone's going to run right off the page. Cool deal. Alrighty. We've got him taking shape here. And now I'm going to cut in these clean knuckles. Because like I said, I'm going to have that come down through here and be black. And then when I color it, I'll leave the white spaces open in the blue so that we can see all of that good stuff. All those details showing up. Kind of carve in these gloves a little bit. Classic style squiggles. And notch the leather a little bit. Right about here is where we're going to want that thumb to start. I'm going to block it out. Make that knuckle right there. And I like to leave this finger, this index finger, buckled up just a little bit. And the reason you do that is because it makes it look like he's clutching down a little bit more. And it looks like the thumb's putting pressure on it for the grip. Got kind of a John Romita Jr. thing going on here with these sketch lines. I'm cutting this in, making it a little blockier, which I'm okay with that. You know, it's okay. Trying to give that a little more edge is what I'm doing. I'm building it up just a little bit. Now, I've got this leg back here, which I won't mess with just yet. I want to get this arm cut in and go from there. And then I'm going to start working on the face a little bit more and detailing a lot of that out. So first off, I'm going to cut in on the shoulder because we've got that bicep line right there. And then we've got that, I don't know what that little muscle is called, but there's that little muscle that goes between the arm right here in the middle, and it bulges out on Wolverine. So this one right here, it doesn't matter where he's at, it always bulges out just a little bit, just a little bit over the edge. So now I'm going to come in here with this foreshortening on the forearm. I'm going to cut into that a little bit. And like I said, I'm keeping it very animated, so I'm not going to, I'm keeping it more smooth lined rather than cutting in all the ribbing for the muscles, with the little curvatures and all that. Not coming in as hard with that as some people would. So follow that line around there. Cut in that glove. This is where I'm going to shift it a little bit. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to do too much of this, but I'm going to cut it in just a little bit so that forearm shows the flex and that, that curvature just a little bit better. And it's also a little heavier on this side. So now I wish I would have refined this a little more, but whatever. Hindsight's 20/20, and I just wanted to have some fun with it today, so that's pretty much what we're doing right now. But and at this scale, it really doesn't matter. It's going to look awesome anyway, because once it's filled out and inked, and colored up. It'll be awesome. And I believe this one's for my personal collection anyway. So unless someone comes across them and just really wants it really bad, I might send it their way. But for the most part, though, just kind of doing my thing as always. So anyway, there was a little bit of comic news I saw this week. DC Comics was talking about making one of the Batman family major cast members gay again. I had heard. Hey, Shane, Charles, Fred, man, you hiding out, dude. I haven't seen you in a while. Staying hi to everybody. But, yeah, you know, they were saying that they were going to make one of the characters gay. And I have no problem with that lifestyle choice. You know, if that's your thing, cool deal. Whether I agree with it or not, whether anybody agrees with it or not, that's your thing, that's cool, whatever. But my problem in comics is that I see so many things, you know, with the social justice warriors and all that stuff going on. You know, it's just as bad as anything else out there. And not to get political or anything, because I'm not going to do that. But I always find it interesting to see when characters that have an established history as long as the Batman family has, you know, Robin, you know, Batgirl, and so on, when those characters just get gender swapped or racial swapped or just switched, why not create a new character? You know, that bothers me. Why not create a new character? I've never been super quiet about that. I don't think it's right. I think they should create quality characters instead of just filler, you know. It's one of those things. But DC was announcing a suggestion of it. They didn't come out and say it just yet, but they suggested doing that. And Marvel and DC are just a mess right now with that. So, you know, I don't even follow the comics anymore because of the fact I stick strictly independent, because of the fact that they're such a mess you can't even follow them if you're over 25, and minimalist lifestyles don't allow for you to buy them if you're under 25. So they're missing their market, but whatever. You know, to each their own, I suppose. But whatever, man. But you know, Amazon has come out with its own line of comics that it's going to start doing as well, which I find that interesting. That should be, I hate to bash on anybody, but that's probably going to be super underwhelming. And they've got creator-owned titles they've been talking about, but we'll see. They say they're going to infuse the market, but I don't agree. And it's good to have disagreement opinions with them, because of the fact that it's not going to work the way they think it is for the industry. I just don't see it happening that way. I think they're going to come in and hinder it even worse. But that's just my personal opinion. As far as marketing goes, I would go in and say, you know, start fresh, not with another reboot, but just pick up where you are right now and, you know, change the directions of the stories. Just do something different. But I'm not the one in charge, so I would have no clue on that. I'll stick with my own comics and my own marketing stuff and go from there. So, but it would be nice to see about 20 different artists get together and start a movement where, you know, creators started a movement to where stuff was not as blunt and almost to the other side of the spectrum that the SJW, the social justice warriors, are trying to get with, you know, now straight shaming. And I think it's horrible. I think it's horrible that it's gone the other direction. That doesn't help anything. That doesn't bring any options to the table to turn everybody gay, transgender, or whatever, just like it doesn't to make them all straight, you know? It's discriminatory across the board, and we've got to figure all that out and start getting back into making comics that have stories and heroes and level material, you know, across the board. It's just so bad. And I've been eating away at that, trying to figure out a way to approach it without getting political. Because like I said, it's not, for me, it's not political at all. It's a very tough topic because it's ruining the industry, because it's choking it out. And that's my big thing on it. That's my big take on it, is that we've gone so far deep into one side of the direction that we've started belittling and eliminating and removing so much of the original source material that now it's gone the opposite direction, where gays and transgenders and all these other options of lifestyle choices weren't appearing in comics before. Now that's all that everybody has, and they want to go this universal person or human model instead of going into a lifestyle choice that makes people up by their personality, which is what gives them the drive and focus and ethics and understanding of what they're doing, no matter what their preferences are. That who you are as what you live by is how you act. And you know, the thing with comic books, if you're not giving any entertainment story, if you're not giving them more of a lifestyle and more of a voice in their personality, no matter what they're in, personal lifestyle choice wise, you're cutting all of that out. So you're basically lobotomizing the characters as they are to make them swap out to meet another prototype that they're not equipped for, which is a problem. So, you know, I'm not saying that they shouldn't exist in the universe of comics or any other form of entertainment. I'm fine with that. I'm just saying that you shouldn't take a 75-year established character and change them to a different preference all of a sudden just because of the fact that you want to be PC. And it's cheaper and easier that way, and because the fan base says, hey, we'd rather see, you know, so-and-so in a gay lifestyle. Well, why? That character is not gay, but I would like to see a character come in that adapts to that approach of the storyline. You know, bring me a solid character that's developed within that genre or lifestyle choice, and come up and say, okay, here's the deal. We've got this character going on, and that's the way that character is. Awesome, no problem. But don't destroy, you know, a legacy of another character to do that. That I have a problem with. And I think we're making a serious transition with not only comics but all forms of entertainment, and I'm cool with that. I mean, it needs to change and it needs to evolve. That's awesome, but it doesn't need to delete the history that was there to make the new approachable. Does that make sense? And it's not something that's new. It's been around for ages. You know, different lifestyles and choices have been around for as long as we've been around as humans. But to eliminate that and then politically stand up and say, hey, you're not going to be able to work for this comic book company because of your beliefs or who you voted for or what you have a preference of or what your opinion on that preference is, that's not cool, man. That's not cool. That is just as discriminatory as the people trying to say that they need to have a voice in the industry. And, you know, I don't care I don't care what your choice is. I don't care who you are or what you're about personally. That's your business. That's not my place to judge you. I'm there for your talent of your writing and your art and getting the job done. And if that's the story you want to tell, cool. I'm good with that. But on the same token, though, don't destroy the comic book characters that I enjoy to make them comic book characters that you would enjoy. Bring in comic characters, original creations, and concepts that can join in with those characters and mesh the way we're supposed to be in the balance of having one of each, you know, or people of each side and caliber, you know, the way the real world is. And it's just, it's crazy, man. I think they're going to damage the franchise of the of the Batman family legacy just to get a paycheck, just to sell books. And I think that's wrong. And the same thing on, Marvel, with their editors coming in and saying, hey, you can't work for us because we're going to remember you if you voted for Trump. I'm not saying whether I did or not. I'm not saying what my political view is. That's my business. But the point is that they're coming in and doing that to people and discriminating against them. And I don't agree with that either, because that's not right either, And a lot of people are getting ripped on for their political views on wholesome old school families, the mom, the dad, and the traditional families, and that's okay too. We should all get along with whatever preferences we want to do, and you should be with whatever makes you happy in your lifestyle choices. You shouldn't have to worry about that, And we've got to come back to the middle a little bit, because there are so many people out there just tearing this down, being PC on both ends, and it's just killing it. I'm not saying that there's not a lot that still needs to change. Absolutely. And I'm all for that. But I'm not saying that you should change the characters that I follow and that are already established and have, like I said, legacies and all that. Why not make new characters just like you're new to that lifestyle and opening that personality and that profile and that choice, which I'm all for pro-choice. Awesome, cool deal. But if you're going to create a comic book and you're going to create a character that happens to be a different lifestyle personality or character, why not create an original one instead of trying to go after ones that are already there and break down the system? That doesn't make any sense, I mean, that's like when they race swapped Johnny Storm. I've always disagreed with that because of the fact that race swapping doesn't fix anything, okay? Racial swapping doesn't fix anything. Sexual identity swapping doesn't fix anything. We don't need to swap it out and eliminate one for the benefit of the other. We need to accept and grow and balance one for the other. I have friends that agree with different lifestyles, and I have no problem with that. I love them all the same, and I would never judge anyone that way. I don't want anybody judging my business, so that's theirs. But, that's mine, not judging theirs. And I have a big problem with that when people come in and, want to go all out. I mean, if you disagree with that and that's your lifestyle choice, awesome. But, if you don't agree with other people's lifestyle choices, that's understandable. I get it. You're not ready for that yet. Okay, cool. But keep that to yourself and respect it, and just leave them alone and leave them be, and say, well, I don't agree with that, but be okay with it, that it's still going on. I mean, they're not hurting anyone to be different. No one is hurting anyone to be different unless you're complaining about it and playing the victim and lashing out to be different. That's the big difference. Okay? So, especially in comics, we've got to be open-minded, and we've got to balance ourselves back out, because anybody that read comics in the 90s is now seeing serious backlash in comics and serious structural shutdown in the market as an industry. And that's a huge thing for me to see happen, because I think that that's a big problem that we need to address. And a lot of people aren't ready to address that. I mean, like I said, I see Marvel editors on their personal Twitter accounts. They closed Roseanne down for making a snide remark, which that was, she's an employee of the studio. If they want to do that, awesome. That's their prerogative. However, you don't see anybody coming after all these people that are coming after any Trump supporters, any straight shamers, anybody that disagrees with the lifestyle. And like I said, it's gone the opposite direction. And does that make sense? It's gone the opposite direction, which is a bad thing. And we can't do that. Just like we can't be, we can't be going one way with all the oppression of everything else from the past. We can't flip it and make it okay to use socialism to silence those people that have been in the lead of that side, and expect them to respect the upcoming position if they're going to be oppressed just as badly in their own right in the opposite direction. I see it all the time. I mean, I'm an over 40-year-old white man, and I guarantee you I am a racial target every single day. But I understand the evolution is coming, and I have plenty of black friends, and we talk about this stuff all the time. And I have friends of all races and nationalities and sexual preferences, and I don't care about that. I love them all the same. We need to balance this stuff out. We talk about this crap all the time. And that's one big thing that we all see is that, it's propaganda for socialism to come in and do that. And in comics, especially, I see it all the time. That they come in and they say, oh, well, you can't go this way because of the feminist agenda, or you can't go that way because of, that being a male-dominated business. If you're messing around with somebody and you're treating them against their rights or treating them ill, then that's a problem. That's a big problem. We had the backlash of people getting fired and moving out because of editors and people in staff positions abusing that position to neglect female staff members. I'm totally for getting rid of those people if that's the case. I'm all for that. But that's within any industry, not just comic books. And it's not within the realm of reality that it can't exist, that we can't coexist with a balance, However, on the same token, though, I don't want to see somebody get lashed out and, tortured or fired because they are, of a different lifestyle choice, which right now I couldn't work for Marvel. If Marvel could come up and give me a job, and they would run me out on the rails right now because of the SJW stuff, because of the fact that that's the way they work right now. And they're supporting all of these, the editorial staff and all of that is supporting all of these rude things of going into straight shimming and hardcore tickets that way. And all of the stuff is being done politically. And I say politically because of the fact that what's going on right now is if you go and get a job from Marvel, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, it's going to come from in-house, from a place like Black Mass Comics or something like that. And it's getting really, really weird to where you can't get a job with them if you're not in their inner circle, if you're not with this new group and mindset of of people, of creators. And that's bothersome because that's discrimination within itself, which is what they're complaining about wanting to stop. You say, you got this preference or that preference, and you've got this lifestyle and that lifestyle, and you've got, ageism, racism, sexism, whatever. And then you want to turn around and you want to get rid of the same people, the opposite on the other side of the table, and do the same thing to the people that you accused of doing that same thing to you that you didn't want to have happen. You're asking for equality, then be equal. And show me that you can hire other people just to, not just a lesbian or a gay person or a black person or a Hispanic person or someone that's under 25 and, whatever. I work my butt off for my art and my marketing, and I work my butt off for my business, and I will never discriminate against someone just because of something that they choose in their lifestyle choice. I am actually about making lifestyle choices and creating lifestyle choices for people and allowing them to live the lifestyle that they want in that vision. Okay? No matter what it is. That's their choice, not mine. I don't care what they do with their life. That's, I just want them to live it and to have the means and the entertainment to enjoy it. So to those editors out there and to those companies out there and those the artists and writers that are out there, they're saying, poor me, I'm being run over by, Marvel or DC or whatever. I'll tell you, you're not right now because your editor buddies are going to get you in there. And it's a political mess. I've seen over 400 people that I know just completely cut out of Marvel and DC. And I mean, they just completely just said no more, no more. And the reason for that is because they can't buy a comic book that's not SJW balanced to the extreme of straight shaming or straight hating. And, you know, that's not cool. There's no more neutrality anymore. There's no more balance anymore. And I've seen that a lot across the board on the internet. You know, there's a lot of people that won't deal and do business because of the fact of religious or political beliefs. And I see it not only in comics, but I see it across the board in marketing as well, because there's a lot of people that say, hey, if you're, you know, if you voted for this person or support that person, then I don't want to work with you because that's not my belief system or my ethics system. Well, guess what? Personality has nothing to do with you making money. Personal choices and voting are your national rights as an American. Okay, that's the natural order of things. That's the whole point of making this country great, is the fact that you can go off and get that stuff out there and you can vote for who you want to vote for and not see repercussions and backlash from that, supposedly. But I guarantee you, comments from Marvel editors and not being taken seriously, coming out of, oh, you know, Trump may not win, but we remember who supported him kind of crap, you know, that came out a few years ago when Trump got elected. And like I said, not supporting Trump by any means or anything like that. I'm just saying because of the fact that that kind of mentality shouldn't be there. You know, same thing with Hillary Clinton. Everybody was griping about Hillary and with Bernie Sanders and all this stuff and the other candidates as well. And, you know, Obama. And you should not be held accountable for hatred against you on a personal level for your profession by something you do when you vote in your life, which this country is built on that statute of being able to have a right to vote, have a freedom of speech, and have an opinion on that stuff, okay? But that doesn't mean you should hate on people just because you can. It's, you know, for a lack of a better term here, I'm going to get a little vulgar here, it's a douchebag thing to do, you know? I mean, it really is. It's a vulgar thing to do, is to attack people because of their personal opinions on grounds of who you voted for or what your belief is or what your sexual preference is. I totally disagree with the fact of coming after someone for that. You know, that is a hate crime. And I'm sorry, but Marvel is supporting that by allowing these editors to do that. And they're doing it in selection, natural selection of their comics. I mean, who are we to say you can't vote for this person or you can't have a job, and we disrespect that at Marvel? They've come out and said it. And, you know, nobody wants to talk about it because, oh, it's PC and we can't work. You know, nobody will hire us as an artist if we bash on somebody, if we bash on a company. You know what? The internet's free market. Okay, the internet is a free market. Support what you support and do your thing, and don't worry about that because they're not. And it's, you know, as a federal trade commission law rep has told me, as a federal communications rep has told me, you know, with the U.S. federal government, they said that that's against the law. Show me the post. And I've reported the post many, many times on both sides. Whether you're an Obama supporter, whether you're a Trump supporter, whether you're a Bernie Sanders supporter, if you're coming after people with hate crime stuff because of the fact of what political view they had, which is their right, their constitutional right, then yeah, I'm going to let you know it real quick. Do I tolerate that stuff? No, I do not. I just don't. I just don't. I don't think it's right, and I don't think we should do it. And I don't think we should come across, and just because we have freedom of speech, like I said, just because we have freedom of speech doesn't mean we should have an authority to inflict hate crimes on people. And that's what I'm opposing right now. And I just have had it eat at me for about the last month. And this is something, you know, it's my personal opinion. And I think that's part of why I got blacklisted with, you know, Marvel, and why a lot of those people have problems with me, is because of the fact that I talk my mind, I speak my mind, and I stand my ground. And yes, I'm okay for equality. I think it is a right thing to do. But I think that the SJW type of people are going off the wrong way and doing it, and they're just as bad in muting people's opinions and abolishing and eliminating the standard of what has already existed, just as bad as the socialists that are trying to mute them. You know what I mean? It's the same policy. It's the same socialism activity that's doing that, because that is oppression, for you not to be able to address who you are. But just like that, why make a character that's got 40 years of legacy, into something that he wasn't or she wasn't, the last 2 issues? I don't understand why you have to gender swap, or why you have to to preference swap, or whatever you want to call it, or racial swap. I don't think that's right. I don't think that fixes the problem. I think we need more strong ethnic characters. I think we need more strong sexually preferenced characters, alternative lifestyle characters. And I don't think that destroying what came before it is going to make it any better. I mean, don't break down what's already there. Just build on it, just the way we always have. And that's the truth behind it. I think that's the way to do it. And, I have a mix of awesome characters in my company brand with no problem. No problem. And it's not about being PC. It's not about being it's not about being PC. It's not about being on the right side, of the opinion, or wrong side of the opinion, or whatever. It's about the fact that I want to develop characters that have variety and choice. And I want to have characters that build out and, live the way that we do in this great country, which is to have their own choice and freedom and opinion and whatever, And that's one thing I want to always express to the young people that I work with. Come across as whatever your lifestyle choice is, and feel the freedom to do that. That's what this country is all about. And, like I said, I didn't want to go on a political rant there, because that's not what this was about. It's just, man, I am so tired of people coming up and doing this crap and blowing it off and saying, hey, man, you're in the wrong here because, and it's just really, like I said, right now, I'm supposed to be the victim, because I'm the, like I said, I'm a 40-year-old white guy. And I think that's crazy and stupid. And do I live that way? Absolutely not. It's ludicrous. I just live my life the way it's supposed to be. Everybody's telling, according to the news, most of it says flat out that, well, you're supposed to be the apologetic, person that steps up and does this, that, and the other. And no, I treat people the same way that I've always treated them, with the utmost respect possible. And I treat them like a person, like a human being. If you're a man, I treat you like a man. If you're a woman, I treat you like a woman. And I treat you the way you want to be treated in the way that you interact with me. I'm not about to step up and be all, oh, I'm sorry because of slavery 200 years ago. There's no reason for that. Slavery got abolished. Yes, there are still a lot of racial issues in the world. Yes, totally agree with it. But it shouldn't overrun comic books where everybody's switched. We should make strong, black, positive characters and stories. And, same thing with any media. But comics has destroyed itself. Marvel's got maybe 200 titles right now, and they're all selling less than 15,000 copies for the majority, for the average. And the reason is because they're throwing it at the wall to say, okay, let's see what character we can change this week. And they change another character, and they don't have the same personality anymore that they had 2 issues ago. And I'm sorry, but they shouldn't be melted down to, just this shell. I mean, the only one that's kept their true personality in the Marvel titles is Deadpool. And that's because it's been commercially marked. And, that's the way that they've written him. And they've run him through every property they've got. And it's disturbing to see the way that people come across with this stuff. And, you know, I have a huge problem with that. Don't come across the table and say, I want to be heard. I'm this type of person and I want to live this type of lifestyle, and then bash the other person for having that lifestyle that they have. That doesn't get you heard. That gets you, you know, an opposing force, and it doesn't need to be. It just doesn't need to be. It's ridiculous. And that stuff needs to stop, you know? We need to be balanced out and respect each other for who we are. I respect every person that I meet, unless they're a jerk to me. And the only thing I discriminate against is being a jerk. If you're a jerk to me, that's a problem. That's a big problem. But if you're nice to me, I don't care what color, creed, or preference you are. I don't. Never have. Never in my life have. But, you know, comic books are ruining themselves. And the industry needs to get back to foundational gold of making strong, solid comic book characters, no matter what their preferences are, and no matter what their personal directions are. And, you know, we need to get back to that and stop shredding all the legacy of the comics prior to do that. I mean, unless it's a hate crime situation where a character is, you know, like bashing on somebody or something, that's one thing. But I don't see any of those characters coming out racially and, you know, bashing anybody. I don't see any of those characters coming out, you know, ripping on people and saying, hey, you know, it's because you're this preference or that preference and whatnot. I see a lot of villains doing that, but they're supposed to. They're antagonists. That's what they're supposed to do. But as far as the comic market goes, and the marketing industry as well, because I see that online all the time. I see people that won't work with certain people because of the fact of where they're from or what they've done or what their personal voting position is. I see it all the time. I've seen people that have worked together in marketing for years online trash each other now because of the fact of the preference of who they voted for. That's not your business nor your position to come in and step on that, okay? Understand that. And I'm telling you this not only as a comic creator, but as a human being in this country, as well as, you know, a father and a thought leader and a marketer and whatever other label you want to give me that makes you feel better about it. That's fine too. Cool. But man, stop with the hate. Stop it. I see it all the time. You know, people say, well, you can't say that. You can't say that word. You can't say this word. You can't say this phrasing. You can't say that phrasing. And when you do all that, that's social oppression, which is socialism, okay? You can't do that, okay? You can't do that. You have no right to tell someone what they can or can't say because of the fact that they have freedom of speech. I'm not saying don't say whatever you feel or think. I'm just saying stop attacking people because that is against the law. It's unethical, it's unprofessional, and it's simple hate, and it doesn't stop. So, you know, if you see, stop posting stuff that, you know, oh my gosh, we don't need another straight character because we need more this or that and the other. Well, guess what? Go make a character that matches the profile that you want to see. That's what you do. Because 9 times out of 10, they publish what they know. Okay? When these characters were created in the 70s, you know, the 60s, the 70s, and before that, in some cases, man, it was a different time and a different understanding. And yes, they have to grow, and yes, they have to accept. But if you want true acceptance, instead of turning a character gay or turning a character to meet another PC matchup or another whatever that's already pre-existing, make them become friends and change their mentality and their perspective to respect someone new that is, you know, in that position or lifestyle choice. That's the way you make change. You make people that already don't accept such because they don't have it as the norm, accept it through new experiences and new communications and new interactions with people that are in those lifestyles. That's how you make the change. Stop changing characters that already exist and go after characters that new, stronger characters that build up and say, okay, this is where we are, and make characters that are already in existence change to meet the new world that they're in, and make characters that are in the lifestyle be accepted and be strong and solid in who they are, and build them out that way. Stop that hate stuff. It does not work. That is what we are seeing in the old world of terrorism. That's what we see in the old world of bigotry. That's what we see in the old world of intolerance. Okay? If you want to create a world that has all of those things, that has tolerance and understanding and acceptance, then make the characters that already exist in the world accept those characters that are coming in with the new vision and the new position and the new lifestyle. That's how you make it work. And that doesn't matter if you're in comics, if you're in marketing, it doesn't matter if you're in, if you're in construction, it doesn't matter what you're in. Stop hating on people just to hate on them because of the fact that you disagree with what they live like. That's not your choice. So, and like I said, full circle, it's come back from one end of the spectrum to the other. I see white shaming all the time. I see straight shaming all the time. I see, bashing and stuff. And we shouldn't be doing this. This is the enemy making us do this, okay? This is the enemy that wants us to fight and bicker so that we don't see all of the people up in charge that are all doing criminal activity coming back to bite us in the butt and distract us from what we're doing, which is the real problem, which is curing the issue altogether and becoming a nation that agrees with lifestyle choice. Think about that. Think about it. I'm serious. No matter what your agreement or your disagreement with that is, stop hating on people. That's all I'm saying. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. That's your personal choice and prerogative in this country as well. But what I'm saying is, I'm not bashing anybody. I'm saying flat out, stop hating on people like children. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm screaming. And if you can understand and respect that, awesome. So if you do, like this. If you don't, I get it. That's okay too. But don't hate on me for my opinion. All right? Don't hate on me for my preference. Don't hate on me for, having a husband-wife relationship, having the classic picket fence family relationship. That's what I want. That's my family value. That's my family vision. That's my lifestyle choice. Okay? And I respect yours just as much as you respect mine. Plain and simple. I want you to have your life that makes you happy. I want that vision to come true for you. And that's part of why I do what I do with the marketing stuff that I do. I'm coming out to make people's lives better. That's what I do. And to make all this political crap go away, it's just going to have to take acceptance, and it's going to have to take time, from every aspect of it. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, green, whatever, I have heritage as well, and I understand that. And, we got to all step up and be helpful to each other and stop thinking that we're the enemy, because we're not. The enemy is the people that try to oppress the fact that we're trying to reach out and grow beyond that old hate that we don't have anymore instilled in us, because that's the way the world works. That's the way the world works. So, anyway, I know you came to see Wolverine get drawn here, and I came off with a bomb lecture, and I get that. But like I said, respect it, I don't see myself getting to work for Marvel because of the fact that they won't hire me, because of the fact that I'm a 40-year-old white guy, according to their eyes. Okay, I get that. The editors that are in charge there would never look at my work, unfortunately, and they discriminate against me because of the fact I see it all the time. But you know what? I'm okay with that, because I don't need to work with people that do things like that, because I want my daughter to see my comics come out. I want my daughter to see me be ethical. And I want my daughter to see me grow as a businessman and come up and help more people like she knows that I do every single day, instead of joining into that bandwagon of meeting people that may or may not approve of me as a person just because of the fact that they want to come in and, force feed their views down my throat. So I respect everyone, and no matter what your lifestyle choice is, that's your choice, not mine. You have to live with that, not me. So I say go for it, and more power to you, and I support that. And I'm honored that you're my friend, and I'm honored that you're a follower, and I salute that. And to get off this thing right now, I'm just going to say flat out, man, I see this political crap go on all the time. I never say anything about it, but it's totally overrun comic books to where they're not comics anymore. They're political platforms, and that bothers me. So that's where this came from. And now I say flat out, if you got an issue with it, Marvel or DC, then that's fine. Then I don't have to work for you. I would prefer to, and I would prefer to be cool with it. But the political correctness stuff that you're calling political correctness, with most of your people coming out and saying, oh, that's okay. Remember, you voted for this person or that person, and now we're not going to work with you because of that or whatever. I call just flat out BS on it. And you guys know what that means. For the kids listening, I'm not going to say the word, but, it's just one of those things, man. We've got to grow up, and it's time to move on. And I've gotten to the point to where I'm about to rock the cages of comic books and marketing. And this is my position on it, plain and simple. Stop the hate. No matter what you believe, no matter what you think, no matter who you are, what you do, and what your choice is, respect the fact that you have a choice just like everybody else, and respect the fact that you need to stop the hate. Show some love, show some creativity, show some building of character. You know what I mean? Show some integrity, step up and do the right thing with that, because that's where we're at right now. We have to stop this crap. And the comic industry is drowning because of it. I had one guy tell me today, well, the comic industry's still alive, is it? I haven't bought a comic book in forever. I thought Marvel's movies were it. And I was like, yeah, that's the way most people see it. Think about that. Think about that. So I'm all for equality, man. I'm all for equality. But the thing is, it has to be true equality. It can't be this back and forth bashing crap that has to belittle people to make a point heard. Okay? That's just as bad as it going one direction as it going in the other. And if you believe different, then I'm sorry for you. And I respect that opinion, but that doesn't mean that I have to agree with it. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to teach my daughter to, or any of my students or anyone else, to come out and believe that. So, stop the hate. That's my message. Stop the hate. Stop the hate. And anybody that knows me personally knows I'm blunt as a spoon anyway. And this is exactly where I'm at. And this is what I believe. So if you agree with it, like it. If you don't, then that's okay too. More power to you to go on your way. But as far as this goes, like I said, you've got to stop this hate crap. It's got to stop. So a friend of mine got rejected from Image Comics because of the fact that he put in a comic book and they called it too traditional. Okay? Too traditional. Which means it wasn't or SJW or whatever it is. SJW, correct. All right? Those are the same people that come across and say, this is not a partial company. Well, guess what? It is. Image, Marvel, DC, they're so swamped with this stuff that between that and the bad stories and the bad artwork of all being digital and putting so many people out of work and lost directions and lost market and all this stuff, it's just so bad. So bad. And, if you disagree with this, like I said, I understand. But as of right now, I am all about making good quality comics that make good quality stories. And it doesn't matter what genre, preference, or gender or race that they're about. I'm cool with that, man. Just stop the freaking hate and stop this stuff of swarming the market with overbalanced stuff, one direction or the other. Just make good comics, make good stories, build up new characters, and get it out there. And stop this crap. So that's my thing, man. That's my thing. I want you guys to step up, be happy in who you are, be healthy in who you are, be conscious of who you are, be aware of who you are, and stop judging people so badly because they're different than you. Everybody's got a chip on their shoulder and they're so ready to defend what they have. They're forgetting to be simply prideful in being who they are. They're so scared of that chip being knocked off. Stop it. Stop it. So the powers that be can see that they can't control that. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I'm not a foil hat guy. I'm not saying, you know, the underground government's trying to change us all, blah, blah, blah. No. I'm smart about it, though, but I'll tell you flat out, you know, there are people out there with hidden agendas and try to do greedy things. I get that. But we've got to stop this hate crap within ourselves. Plain and simple. Move forward. And if you can't move forward, then, you know, I hope you get the help you need. I hope you get the satisfaction you need. I hope you come to peace one day where you can live with what you need to do and who you need to be. Okay? And that's pretty much it right there in a nutshell. So don't come back at me with this stuff. You know, if you want to talk about it privately, that's one thing. But I'm going to end this on this note. You come at me, then I'm going to consider that hateful. And I'm going to stop you on it real quick. Because what I'll do is I'll turn you in. I'll block you. And I'll unfriend you. Because I don't want to have that hate crap on me. I'm telling you flat out, if that's your opinion and you want to hate on people, then please, by all means, unfriend me. If that's your if that's your game, if that's your bag, then do that, because I'm building a tribe of people that want to succeed and grow and be super cool with building their market, building their comics, building their story, building their life, building their love, building their legacy. And that's what my website's about. You know, that's what my business is about. That's what my comics are about. That's what my marketing's about. It's about changing lives to make people live their happiest point with success. And, you know, I almost completely dumped on the comic industry just this weekend, and was talking with family about it and told them, you know, I may have to quit drawing all this stuff. I may have to quit doing all this stuff and just move into my own books. As far as my marketing business goes, not my marketing business, but my comic business, because of the fact that, you know, the marketing side of things is always good. And I love helping people make their dreams come true. But as far as comic books go, I may have to drop out of comic books completely, except for my own books, because it is so politically driven right now. So many creators are lost because of the fact. And it's just horrible. It's horrible. And, you know, like I said, I'm a sounding board here. I'm a standing voice here. And I'm a believer flat out that this stuff can change. I am a true believer in the fact that there's got to be a lot of growth. And there's got to be some retraction before there is extension and expansion. But on the same token, though, I don't have to tolerate people holding me down in an industry and not letting me work, or letting my friends work, or letting people have our craft, or characters that have been along for, you know, 40, 50, 70, 100 years because of some new gender movement or social movement or whatever movement that wants to change it, manipulate it, and destroy that to overcome and lay a new foundation with it, when they should be building their own new characters and foundation blocks in that foundation and corporation. So think about that. That says a lot, you know? Like I said, I'm all for equality. But breaking down a character that's been around forever and switching it up is not equality. That is obliteration. That is extinction. That is, that is an extinction agenda to do that. And I know it's just a comic book character, but the point is, if it starts with a comic book character, then it starts with burning books. Then it starts with muting television. Then it starts with handicapping what can be said on TV, which we've already seen a big chunk of across the board from both sides. So think about that, people. Stop the hate. If you really want to change things, stop the hate. I mean, yeah, we get some knuckleheads in office. It happens. But no matter who you voted for, there are problems, there are pros and cons with both sides every time we take a vote. But you know what? That's part of dealing with the human presence in the world. And, like I said, man, the hate's got to stop, no matter who you voted for, no matter what you believe. If you don't like it, change it. Vote again. Vote next term and get that person moved out, That's the way I look at it. That's the whole point of a vote. Let's give it a shot for 4 years. If they suck, we move it and change it. And then 4 years later, we kick them out and we put somebody in there and we change it all. Obama changed the status quo. Then Trump went behind him and changed a ton of stuff too. But the thing of it is, though, we have to respect who's in there right now because of the seat, not because of the difference of their skin, not because of the difference of their personality, not because of the difference of whatever. Okay? Respect the seat. And then understand that in 4 years you can change that and be like, nope, this dude's not good. Bye-bye. And you move forward. But stop hating on people. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Let me reiterate. Stop it. Because I don't want my daughter to grow up in another generation that hates each other because of the fact of crap. Like not understanding. If you don't want to be hated for the color of your skin, be a different person. One, don't associate with people that hate your skin. You know where they are. Stay away from them. Get yourself educated. Get yourself different. Get yourself a movement of opposing that by living that example of what you want your people to represent. Not getting out there and bashing on people that hate you, because it's not going to change anything. When people say, oh, I hate you because, and you can't change that, you change it by not dealing with them. You change it by moving on and saying, okay, that's your opinion. I respect that. You're an idiot, but that's your opinion. And you move on. And we've gotten to where we are so afraid to speak up about that stuff, and we don't say anything anymore. And now, like I said, a simple thing like comic books, which are supposed to be fun, man, are just trashed across the board. And it's the same thing with pretty much any entertainment, I don't care if you make a character gay. I don't care if you make a character black. I don't care if you make a character white. I don't care if you make a character Latino. I don't care if you make a character Jewish, by religion, by preference, by sexual preference, by racism, age, color, whatever. Stop it. Stop it. We are all here on this planet, and until we decide to be okay with each other, we're still going to have this crap going on. I get it. And that's one thing I've always tolerated in my life is acceptance of other people, because guess what? I've got to be accepted just as much as you do. So stop that crap. And you're only accepted by how you accept others. That is a fact. That is a hardcore fact. You are only accepted by those around you that are like-minded and accept you for you. If they don't accept you, then you got to rub. And you know that. And that's where all this crap stems from. So stop it. If you know they don't like you, stay away from them. If you know that they're a problem, report it to the authorities and take care of it. If the authority is the problem, Take care of that. Change it. Vote. Make a new company to follow. If Marvel's the one that's causing you problem, if Disney's the one that's causing you problem, if Image is the one that's causing you problem, if if your dad's the one causing you the problem, stop associating with them. Stop buying their crap. Stop going to the conventions and supporting all this garbage. So, plain and simple. Plain and simple. And I'm off the soapbox now. I'm going to shut up about this because, like I said, I don't want to go political. And it's just, this is something that has to be said because no one is standing up for it. No one is abiding by it anymore, with the status quo of being PC and whatever. And everybody wants to be accepted, but no one wants to accept anybody else. And that's a problem. That is the forefront problem right there. I see politicians and people talk about it all the time. And I tell you what, man, it's just sad. It's weak. It's weak. And you know what makes it weak? It's we allow that crap to go on, and we allow that crap to keep going. And I'm a very intelligent person, and I'm not stupid. I am an educated individual, and I pay close attention to what's going on in the world. And, maybe if we took a second and said, okay, that's your opinion, and walked away just once in a while, think about it, how different it would be. But anyway, I'm pro-life, man. I'm pro-life. I'm one of those people that goes in and says, live your life the way you want to live it and be cool. And with my marketing stuff coming out, with my artwork coming out, I hope you guys respect that. And like I said, if you disagree with me, that's your personal choice. I'm not about the politics thing. What I'm about is being equal and being fair. So that's where I'm at. And if you're cool with that, awesome. And I appreciate you for being here. And like I said, I didn't expect to go on that open mic stance about that, but comic books specifically have started it to where you can't even submit pages anymore because they won't pay attention to you unless you have this type of, overzealous stretch to the opposite side of whatever you agree with or disagree with, and you either are 100% on or 100% off because of the fact that it's a lockout in their opinion, in their mind. And it doesn't matter what you truly believe and what you truly accept. So think about that. It's just bad. It's gotten to where these companies are so bad off in the way that they treat their staff, in the way they treat their people, in the way they treat artists approaching them. It's discriminatory, and it's a clique mentality. And we can't have that anymore in the comic industry, especially because young people look up to these heroes. And what are we teaching them as a model right now? We're teaching them to hate more than anything else when it comes to mainstream comics because of the isolation of these preferences. We're making another generation of hatred by doing that, and I refuse to support it. I hear so many people say, you're not messing with my legacy of comics. I'm out of here. And right now, Marvel and DC are sticking to that. And they're okay with it because they know they'll make the money off of the people that are shoveling down the hate right now, and they've got offices full of the people that are shoveling down the hate right now. And it's a bad thing, man. It's a bad thing, and I refuse to let comics suffer for it. When you see a Firestorm comic, know that it's a comic of equality and peace, and it's good versus evil, and nothing more, nothing less. Okay? And note that when my marketing comes out, my marketing is open to everybody. I don't care who you voted for, what you believe, what you prefer, what your view is. As long as it's not hate, I will back you up and support you in my programs every step of the way. So, and as far as comics go, I am ashamed of this industry for stepping in and expecting people to do this. Disney and Warner Brothers, you guys need to get your, I'm sorry for the kids listening, please listen and plug your ears for a moment, but you guys need to get your heads out of your asses and start building up real characters that respectfully show these opposite or opposing or different views in every direction. And if you're not, then we as the fans need to boycott your asses because of the fact that it's discrimination. It's discrimination to everybody. It's not equality, it's socialism, and it's borderline communism in the way to discriminate it because it's a medium. So it's like, you know, seeing a communist country block the news, you know? And if you got to block the news because it's a specific content that you want to put out, then you're just as bad as anybody else out there saying, you know, oh, this is a bad thing or a good thing or whatever your view is. If you're isolating it to the point, then that's a problem. I'm telling you flat out, it's a hate thing. Get rid of it, man. It's depressing. It's wrong. It's not cool. And it's not the way life's supposed to be. It's not the way life's supposed to be. Life is supposed to be a fun experience. It's not supposed to be stressful to the point of, you know, wanting to take your own life out because someone disagrees with your sexual preference or your race or your gender or whatever. So I'm standing up for it right now and saying flat out, it's wrong and it's ruined the industry. It's not ruining, it's ruined the industry because I can't support an industry that does that. So anyway, that's where we're at, people. That's what I got. And like I said, sorry to go on a tangent here, but like I said, this is one of those things that had to be addressed. And I'm going to wrap this up with this one. I know this is not light at all here, but man, I just had to say something because like I said, anybody that knows me knows I'm not going to back down from this crap. And this hate crime stuff is just not cool, man. It's just not cool. It's not comics, and it's not life. And anyway, I will be back tomorrow. Excuse my allergies, sniffling all over the place here. I will be back tomorrow to ink this up, and I promise I don't make a promise I can't keep. I will be back with a very high energy, fun conversation. And like I said, I respect all of you, and no matter what your preferences are, no matter what your skin is, no matter what your whatever choices are, as long as it's not hate, that is the only thing I oppose. And I see that so heavily right now in this industry of comic books, and this is a passion for me, folks. I will be back lighter tomorrow and finish this up, and we'll have some more fun as always, okay? I apologize for this being a long-winded thing and being out there right now, but I saw those stats and those books and stuff, and then I've been seeing all this information about this stuff, and no one's willing to talk about it because they're afraid they're going to be bashed for it, okay? And that is what they want. That is the oppression that I'm talking about, and we can't have that. So it ends right now. As far as comics go, the oppression ends with me, plain and simple. I'm not holding back. I'm not stopping, and I'm not going to bash on anybody, but I'm damn sure not going to tolerate the fact that someone wants to bash on anybody else. So I'm not really the guy that wants to be in that position, but you know, just like these guys, they don't want to be there either, but they have to be because they're the ones that can do it. And I feel I had to say something, and that's part of my purpose, is to be straightforward, honest, blunt, and as clear as possible. Do you, live you, be cool with it. But remember, Just like you want everybody else to respect you, you have to respect them. If you don't, you're just as bad as they are if they rip on you. Understand that. That's where it starts. Make the change in your own choice. So, anyway, this is Brad Linder signing off. So, as always, you guys, man, this was a deep one. Comics have to change. And I'll leave you with the normal note. If you can, go out there, hug somebody, make somebody smile, make somebody have a better world, man. We are in this roller coaster called life together, whether we want to be or not, no matter what the view on the vote is, no matter what the opinion of the politics are, no matter what we eat for dinner and choose to wear. So in that, go out and make it better for somebody tomorrow, restock the place, and let's reset the party and have a good time, okay? So with that said, folks, I'm out of here. Take care.